That was a fun run, and I absolutely know that this will be too. This is a 100% of VVVVVV by Metal Llama.
Hello. I'm going to quick toss it over to my commentators and have them give their introductions before I give mine. Take it away.
Hi, I'm AlphaBetaFullRelease. I also run this game mostly with no bounds and 100%. I also commentated for SPD Wolf's hotfix run back in May for Fast Travel Italy.
All right, and I'm Elomavi. I'm the current 100% world record holder and also a glitch hunter, and I also ran this exact category at Summer Games Done Quick 2026. And we get to see it again for the 9x Showcase, and I'm really excited to see Metal Llama perform. Yeah.
And I am Metal Llama. If you probably seen me, I was the singer for the Crazy Taxi run back at GDQ 2025. But when I got into speedrunning way back in 2014, this was actually the game that I first got good at way back. Like 100% was the category I really focused on back then. And I'd kind of been out of speedrunning for a bit. But when Elomavi got this game and this category accepted for SGDQ and asked me to commentate, I was like, why don't I de-rust this game? And then I got good at it again. I got all the way up to second place at one point, now back in fourth place, but I'm really excited to show off this category for you. Elomavi showed off a different category at SGDQ, and I really want to try and show off what's closer to the world record category for this game, and it's a lot tougher. It's got some really tough tricks, but I think that this would be a really cool run to show off for the non-binary showcase, and I think that we are about ready to get started. If we are all good to go, I'm going to give us a countdown.
Let's do it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
All right. Thank you. So as a teacher mentioned, this is VVVVVV or V6, developed by Terry Cavanaugh, released in 2010. And we're going to do our first sequence break right here. So you control with the left and right button, and you have multiple buttons that will allow you to reverse gravity. And also added in 2.0, you have a reset button, which allows you to reset to the last save. And I just use that to skip going to the first levels. I did not go to Space Station 1. I am instead already in the ship and already in the overworld. And would my commentators like to explain what this route consists of?
Yeah, absolutely. So there has been two primary competing routes for a while. One where you skip SS1, that Metal Llama is showing off here, and one where you get the trinkets during SS1. There's been some back and forth as to the viability of the certain routes, but each have their own pros and cons. But for this route specifically, there's a trick later on which allows you to skip both of the intermissions even. My apologies. So as you can see, Metal Llama actually got frame perfect trinket death there. That saves 10 frames. It cuts off the music, unfortunately. Shout outs to Magnus Soli, by the way, for the awesome soundtrack for this game. It's super, great soundtrack. But every time they do that, it saves 10 frames, and they, miss it for that one. But overall, I'm doing great so far. The different routes, so for this one, it's definitely saves about 50 seconds or so, or maybe even more than that, compared to the no Space Station 1 skip routes. But overall, it's a lot harder to do. So shout outs to Metal Llama for going for it.
Yeah, so some of the routing I've been doing already, I've seen 2 rooms that have teleporters in them, and that'll be very important for one of our first major glitches coming up called telejumping. That was first found in 2014, back when I was starting to run, and it really threw a lot of routing and categories, really changed it up a ton. So I'm just collecting 3 trinkets, so this category is 100%. I have to collect all 20 trinkets and beat the game. So here is a telejump. You want to explain that, somebody?
Yeah, so...
Go ahead, Alpha, yeah.
So telejumps are a glitch we use where if you die after selecting a teleporter to teleport to, you can move Viridian around again, and using that you can give them you can add to their velocity from the telejump, which will often throw you into a wall, floor, or ceiling, and allow you to clip out of bounds to places you would ordinarily have to take a much longer route to. So here, Metal Llama did that to allow them to clip partially into the lab, because there are no trinkets earlier than the point that they entered the level from, so it just helps cut out a few extra rooms that they would have otherwise had to have gone through.
I also did a trick called a line clip a little bit earlier. There's going to be a few more of them later on, but I think that a line clip is like you have to press flip, unpress it, and then the next frame, and then the third frame repress flip. Is that right?
That is correct, yeah. So it's a series of double frame perfect, I think it would be the term. It depends on how you want to look at it, but yeah, it's very tight. So it usually takes a few tries, but they're able to get it. Yeah, no, not much issue.
So
Right.
now one more trinket to collect here. And I'm doing the time-honored tradition in V6. When there's nothing better to do, why not just flip?
So true.
True.
I mean, it's just like if you could bounce up and down off of like the ceiling and the floor, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you do it?
It's the non-binary and especially the attention deficit. Like that's just the energy.
All right, so that is it for the first level. So we go to a bunch of different levels. We have like a specific order that we do. Okay, I'm just gonna quick reset here, which allows me to gain control a little quicker. And we're gonna do something a little fun here. We're talking to Victoria here. Someone wanna explain, whoa. I seem to be standing on my head and flipping all around. What's going on here?
We just become a TV on the transition between rooms.
Yeah, you could say that a Viridian has a bit of a terminal illness.
Uh-oh.
That's a terminal, not a TV.
You are technically correct. The best kind of correct.
So the reason this happens is that the game changes Victoria's sprite a few times during the cutscene in which you grab her trinket. However, because Metal Llama died while collecting her trinket, Victoria is no longer loaded in the room when the game tries to change her sprite, and so instead Viridian's sprite gets changed instead. But because Victoria was upside down and Viridian's not, it messes up their sprite pretty bad, to the point where, as you can see, they're upside down, they're a terminal, they're all over the place, and the terminal sprite will actually be useful for some slightly faster strats for a few rooms coming up here that you otherwise wouldn't be able to do, or that would be much harder.
Yeah.
Yes,
I know
this is actually found. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I know that like Gordian Knot, I think that one is doable depending on the align, but like the terminal makes it much easier. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Elo?
Oh, no worries. Yeah, so I was about to say, yeah, actually, so one of the tricks was found like just a few days after GDQ ended, so it's brand new, like never before seen in a run before, so it's really exciting. Go straight. Yeah, I'll save it. I'll save the suspense, yeah, for later, but it's really cool.
Gordian not messing me up. See, this is one room where the terminal makes that trick a lot easier.
Yes, it is possible without the glitch sprite, but it becomes sprite dependent, which means it's dependent on the walking sprites of your crewmate, which has to be the flatter one, the one that's less height. So it's basically RNG, so it's a 50-50 chance without the glitch sprite, and it's much easier with the terminal.
Nice cycle there. We're coming up on the new trick that Elo found just earlier this week, actually. Was it earlier this week? Gosh, time to
something like that. It doesn't. Yeah, I know.
There we go. Right there. I was able to go pretty quick and just slide through those enemies there.
Yep.
And now we're heading up to the one of the most notorious trinkets. I'll concentrate. I've been getting a lot.
Very well done.
Nicely done.
Yeah, and frame perfect. Yeah. I do, yeah, exactly. I do want to emphasize that every single time the music cuts out, that is a frame perfect input that Metal Llama is doing. It's a 30 FPS game, but still, that is very precise.
It's also a very
middle of all of
risky
this
frame
platforming.
perfect.
It's very risky. Yeah, if you're
Yes.
early, yeah.
Ooh, that was a
If they were early, that would have been at least a 10-second time loss on doing things the hard way, probably a bit more.
Well, I like to do things the harder way. You can't be
Of course.
And
Of
speaking
course.
of speaking all these
Speedrunners.
names into existence, I'm probably the only person in the call who didn't know or remember, but people out there watching might not know that another indie dev is credited in this game as being the person who named all of these rooms. Somebody you may be familiar with, a little dev by the name of Bennett Body.
Yep. All right. I need this trick explained really quick, or at least as quick as we can manage, because here is the big double intermission skip.
All right, so what you're going to see is Metal Llama is going to use a telejump to position themselves such that they can trigger... Okay, didn't quite get it. Such that they can trigger a cutscene at the end of SS1 and teleport away on the same frame. The cutscene at the end of SS1 makes it so that they will rescue Violet the next time they use a teleporter. And they're going to use that they're going to stack that with rescuing another crew member to rescue 2 people at the same time. Now, ordinarily in this game, there are intermission stages you go to after playing Nice. After
we go,
rescuing
There we go.
your
That wasn't too
third and
bad.
fourth crewmate. However, Violet is special in that she cannot go to either of the intermission stages. So because at the end of the tower here, Metal will rescue both Vermilion and Violet at the same time, Violet's essentially being rescued as the third and fourth crew member at the same time, and so they will skip both intermission stages. So you will not see the escort stage and you will not see the Gravitron in this route.
Incredible.
So that was also like a frame perfect trick to get that enter press right when I land on the ground and trigger that cutscene. Now, because a lot of the V6 categories are measured using in-game time, technically what I did just there in resetting that trick would invalidate this run for the leaderboards, as well as there being some glitches that require quitting to the menu. So this run now technically is not leaderboard viable, and that's one of the things that makes this route and this trick very difficult, because if you miss that trick, it's an instant reset.
Yeah, that's correct. And then also...
But getting it like...
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, Metal. Yeah.
Third or fourth try, I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, you should be. Then, like, it felt like watching a StarCraft player with the APM there for a moment.
Okay, we're finishing up the tower. I did some of the reset skips by hitting the spikes, but that's kind of a small trick in the midst of everything else. So here... This really does skip going to Violet. And now, since we need to get all the trinkets in this route for it to be, considered, 100%, I do need to go back to Space Station 1 and collect the 2 trinkets in this level. So we're back at the start of the game and going backwards now.
This is also a difficult trinket right there for Transfer. Oh, but they get it first try. Again, that is a lot more difficult than it looks, that one right there.
You're echoing the line I said during your run.
Yeah.
Is that the same run? Or is that the same vocals? I didn't mean to. No, that is really impressive.
I said that so often during your run. This is more difficult than it looks, because I feel like people who don't know this game, like...
Yeah.
I gotta lock in.
No.
I'm having fun. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
Look, I got like third try or something on double intermission skip. It's that trick and the trick that's coming up in the warp zone that they're very finicky and difficult tricks, and I was worried that like showing off this route is pretty difficult. So it's like that trick and the upcoming trick in the warp zone are the 2 tricks that I was nervous about, like getting consistently because they're just difficult and have a lot of moving parts to them.
Yeah, they're the crown jewels of this particular route.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like, there was a version of the Warp Zone trick that was in the old world record like a month or so ago. And, well, I just going to shout out both Alpha and Elo for helping teach me some tricks, wrong direction, to help get me back into it. But Elo was teaching me this trick. All right, we're going through a ceiling again. Elo was teaching me this upcoming trick and ended up finding a faster version of it.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, like, I don't know how much faster, but okay. Warp Zone is pretty easy to explain otherwise. What am I about to do?
Okay, so yeah, they telejumped to the end of Warp Zone. They got Verdigris following Viridian as a crewmate, and now they're bringing them through the Warp Zone, and then they're actually going to rescue them halfway through with the teleporter right here at Lore's Wormhole. And then what they're going to do, they're going to basically activate the final level complete cutscene, and during that, they're going to want to rescue Verdigris, and then during the cutscene, you're going to do a wrong warp back to the Edge Games room, and then during that final cutscene, they're going to basically clip through the ground right here, and then collect the trinket with a specific timing. It's a lot harder than it looks, I will say. So you have to do all this movement around while you're invisible, and there's text boxes all screen. It's an absolute nightmare to try to learn. I mean, yeah, I'm surprised that, yeah, just with the trick being discovered in the first place, because it's a crazy thing. But yeah, so they're gonna give it one more attempt here.
Well, as many
as needed. Yeah. Sorry. You're gonna get it this time for sure. There.
And I did. So I flipped through the wall there with the bit of the cutscene that would trigger, leading us into the final level, and that allows me to clip through the wall, and then I have a small window in which to collect the trinket. I can't just collect the trinket right away. I have to wait for a little window. It's like, I don't know how long the window is, but it is a very
deceptively tight
thing.
Because it's a blind window. It's hard. But with that ends up skipping the second half of the warp zone, so it's a big time save right there, about over 20 seconds.
Yeah, and the issue with being too early with collecting the trinket is it'll just cancel out the final level cutscene, soft locking you near the end of the game, and your run's done.
Oops, did not want to click that button, but this one I do. And now we're just heading into the last half of the final level. Yeah, time slip. I don't know if that's... What am I doing? Literally time slip.
Literally time slip. That's
time slip moment.
Also more line clips here. Nice.
Time keeps on slipping into the future. I don't know why I'm singing some Steve Miller Band right now.
It's fine. You can
just
fly like an eagle if you want.
This just happens on my own stream. I just start singing something. I think of a lyric and I just start singing.
Like, genuinely, if people ever saw me speedrunning just on my own, I'm usually just like humming along to the music in the game or something else that's in my head.
All right, and this is the final hard room, and now we're just heading right to the final trinket, and I'll be calling time in just a second. And time.
Jeez.
So that in-game time is not fully relevant since I did quit out to the menu a few times, but I'm still really happy with how this run went and really happy to show off the different really cool tricks that are currently in the 100% route for this category. This category has been so exciting lately. I started derusting it and I started getting better at it. And in the past month, the top 4 times for this category have been set, and they're all below 15 minutes now in game time. But I
Absolutely
just
incredible to see a category for a over 15-year-old game with no run older than 4 years and 4 of them within the last month.
Oh yeah, but just as kind of some last comments I wanted to say, I am so proud of the GDQ community and especially like the Binary Breakers community for existing. I have found the speedrunning spaces to be such safe places for making friends and to explore my identity, and just the amount of community that is in the speedrunning community and the safe spaces there are for people to explore their queer identities and to give them space to grow and change as people. I think that that is just such an important thing, for the people who, do game fast, but also the people around there. I'm so proud to call myself a speedrunner and a member of both the Games Done Quick and just broader speedrunning communities. And I was hearing some other people earlier in the event talk about this stuff, but it's just like being visible and being, and putting ourselves out there is just so important to just show to other people, both, trans kids, but also just people who have never given themselves the space to think about their identities in this sort of way. It's just so important that we, be ourselves, stand proud, and just remember that we are valid and that we are always changing as people, but we're just so valid, I'm so proud of everyone here.
That was really well spoken. I couldn't agree more.
But yeah, thank you to the Games Done Quick community and the showrunners for this, for having me on. I didn't even mention this. Viridian is canonically non-binary. They're awesome, but thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Metalama. Elo, Alpha Beta, anything from either of you?
I don't think I have everything. That was a pretty good outro for Metal.